How we doing, folks? This episode is sponsored by TP Tyres. If you're looking for anything for your car, tyres, batteries, bulbs, services, anything, go to TP Tyres in Dean's Grange. Tell them Billy Big Ball sent you out for a 10% discount. Happy New Year. Episode 25, Billy Big Balls podcast. The guest tonight is
David Dalton.
David. How are you doing, David?
How are you doing, Billy? Good to meet you. Yeah.
You too. So, David, where are you from and what's your story?
Right, so I'm from Killinarden Estate in Tala originally. I moved out of there when I was about 7, I'd say. And one of my biggest kind of memories from there is I had an ice cream in my hand one day and someone ran over and just took a big bite out of it.
Yeah.
While I fucking had it in my hands. But now listen, it was a great place as well, to be honest. But yeah, then we moved down to Drimnagh. Right. So lived down there for years, like, you know what I mean? And that's kind of where, you know, my story really kind of takes shape in a sense. And what shaped me, do you know what I mean, started there, you know. With 2 older brothers, right. I'm the youngest of 3. So that's kind of that's where I grew up, and that's, do you know what I mean? That's where things started, and so I don't know whether you want me to go into kind of what happened and
you tell whatever you want to talk about. You talk about.
No problem,
you
Billy.
Know, cause,
well, that's
we want everyone to like your story and where you are now and what you're doing now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So like the reason why I'm here is really is to talk about it's mental health. And you know, emotional health. So emotions and the mind and how that kind of works together, because you know I've a lot of experience in that myself, in the sense of my mother has schizophrenia. She's still alive now. With 2 older brothers, as I said, one of them died when I was 21. He was on heroin. That killed him within 3 years. Now I idolised him. I would have been about 14, 15 when that happened. And then my oldest brother, then he kind of, you know, his mental health really went bad, you know. So that was a fucked up family, if you like. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't know how to process that. You know, I was in school at the time. I was doing good in school. I was, you know, I was capable in primary, like, do you know what I mean? And then I remember just deciding one day, I says, I'm going to go into secondary and I'm going to fucking wreck this place. Do you know what I mean? Because all I had in me was anger. Do you know what I mean? That's all I had.
Well, you know, like
when you look at it, like, you probably can relate to that yourself, and maybe some of the lads here can relate to that. You know, so I just and that's what I done. You know, I just went in, I fucking wrecked the place, like, do you know what I mean? I done everything I could to cause as much chaos as I could, because that's all I had was chaos. Do you know what I mean?
You were reflecting what you had inside,
Reflecting what I had inside, and you kind of say, like, why do people go in fucked up ways, and like, why do people go on drugs? You know, and then, you know, people look down on that then. But the truth is, you know, and everybody here, I think, can probably attest to that, is we all came from something that was fucked up. Which is what fucked us up. Do you know what I mean? So that's what happened. So I went into school. I got expelled from school, suspended, expelled, and then I got put into a home for not going to school as well. So I was lost. Do you know what I mean? I felt I was lost.
And what age were you at this, going into a home, like?
14.
Right, okay.
Yeah, went into the home when I was 14, and it was, you know, to be honest with you, like, there was a bit of order in there. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of, you know, I nearly got on well in there, in a sense. Do you know what I mean? But then I came back out. I started, you know, went at 2 litres of cider and smoking blow and, you know, doing all that stuff. But I felt like, you know, at 13, 14, I felt like as if I changed as a person, and I lost who I was. So I didn't know who the fuck I was then. Do you know what I mean? I felt lost.
Sorry, were you still in contact with your family, or?
Yeah, I was still living at home.
I
was still living at home. But, like, you know, in my own head, I felt lost myself. Do you know what I mean? And that went on. And then, you know, about 18 years of age, I went to see a counsellor, and that was, you know, it really wasn't talked about then.
Yeah.
Like, that's going back, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I knew there was something wrong, Billy, and it was annoying me because I felt as if, you know, like, you feel as if you're losing who you are.
Yeah.
It's
Your identity, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It was the worst kind of feeling that I've ever had, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's what I went to see a counsellor when I was 18. And but just on from there, I had to kind of find my own way through it.
Yeah.
And I had to start talking to people. And like, that's why I done this book, you know. I interviewed over 35 people, but it was my way of trying to figure out what the fuck went wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this is your life you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at Ricky Hatton, you know, I seen he did like a show, it was like MTV Cribs. And
you seen his gaff, yeah.
did you see it?
Yeah.
And it's a big, huge gaff in England.
Yeah.
You know, and he has the Only Fools and Horses van outside.
Yeah.
And he had 2 or 3 sports cars as well.
Yeah.
And he's a great personality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a real working class bloke.
Just an ordinary bloke, yeah.
You know,
happened to be a bleeding amazing boxer.
world champion.
He won it fucking 4 or 5 times, didn't he?
He won it 4 or 5 times. The
People's
first
champion as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the people's champion.
Listen, he was a real down to earth, you know, but it just... Sorry, get back to
No, well, that's it. No, 100%. It just goes to show you.
Yeah,
like,
you don't, like, it's the people that smile all the time are the ones that are probably the most fucking saddest inside, you know?
well, that's it. You're trying to
You're trying
portray an image
you know what I mean? Yeah,
of this is, you know, you're trying to portray an image of I feel good. Do you know what I mean? When you really don't feel good, you know, and like, he's in a mansion. He has everything, millions, you know, and he put a rope around his neck. Do you know what I mean? Like, because of what was going on between his ears.
Yeah.
He couldn't beat that. That's a world champion.
Yeah.
Same with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was driving down a motorway at 200 miles an hour. He was going to crash into the bridge. And I truly believe he was going to do that. Do you know what I mean? Something stepped in, he said, and he believed it was God that done that and stepped in. But there's lots of cases like that.
I know, yeah.
You know, like people...
Like your man Robin Williams and all as well, you know, like...
Robin Williams.
Like, it doesn't matter what you have, like, you know, I was looking at a thing there, and there was a guy talking, and he's talking about mental health, and he just starts crying. And he said, like, he can't explain why he's sad. He's sad all the time.
Yeah.
And he has a perfect family, kids and all, but he just can't be happy.
Yeah.
It's fucking, like, it's...
It's a weird thing.
Isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, it's...
He just feels a certain way.
He feels a certain way, and he just, no matter what, and he'll be talking to counsellors and all, and it's just... You can't just
break
get past it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's so bleeding.
It's a tough one.
It really is, like, you know, it really is, like, and it's like, it's so close to you as well, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you think when you're going through shit, you think you're the only one, like, but everyone around you. Like, I was talking to a fella earlier on, this bloke's just an ordinary Joe Soap, and I was saying to him, you know, I said, I'm doing a show tonight, have a bloke talking about mental health. I said, he goes, oh, man, it affects us all. And he wouldn't have been a bloke that I wouldn't even dreamt of that would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just shows you, like you're saying about Ricky Hatton and all, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're 100%. Well, that's exactly
what
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lot of it is, you know, that's one of the things that I've learned through this process is, you know, the image we create. That, like, it's all, you know what I mean? It can all be an image sometimes. Yeah. And the thing is you don't need to do that. Do you know what I mean? I think we need to break that a bit more. Do you know what I mean? But
that's the problem with social media and all this shit now. Everybody's putting this up, and, you know, suppose you take a picture. Oh, don't put that up, do this. But, you know, like, it's, you know, fucking
100%.
Self-image, and everybody's worried about, like, it's, you know, it's hard, like, you know, me now personally, like, don't get me wrong, things do affect me. And I do get down, and I do be up, and some days it just comes and hits me, and I'm not, for about 3 or 4 days, I'm in I don't know where I am, you know what I mean? I'm in a different headspace or whatever, you know, but I do try to get around it, and just think, like, you know, it's like, it's, you know,
100%.
Yeah, you have to just you know, try and think positive and just move forward, because if you don't, you'll end up doing something that you know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that's the key is finding a way around it. Like you just said, it's and you're finding what works for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I can see that you're out doing this podcast. You have a history as well.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
100%,
and look at you now, like you're doing.
Like, that we were saying earlier on before we came up and all, like things that we're talking about now is bringing up trauma that fucking I buried years ago.
Yeah.
Like when I got it clean, like from everything, I just got clean. I didn't do counselling. I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? And I was thinking, I don't need that fucking counselling shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's like about a year ago, I finished with my board. We did a podcast, and just fucking everything, just trauma coming back, and things I should have dealt with probably before I got with my board, but I didn't. You know what I mean? And but now it's like I feel like I'm a totally different person. I feel like I have like a major weight taken off my head and all, you know what I mean? It's like, though it is dragging trauma up, it's also giving me a tool to deal with it.
But that's the key.
That's where I am at the moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
a bit of healing.
Absolutely.
That's the way I feel now, you know what I mean? Like, it's, but that's no, don't get me wrong, like every day is not great, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is one or two, like I say, just the last week or two, just thinking of shit, and don't get me wrong, not thinking of fucking ending or anything like that, but like just
negative,
stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I find that holidays can be part of some people's lives, especially who's lost people, or
Absolutely.
Especially recently.
Yeah.
Also when the past, it drags up all
100%.
So, and that tapers off, and that's probably why I'm feeling a little bit.
Yeah, maybe,
this past couple of weeks, because it takes a while for that to taper off, like,
It does, I got that around Christmas as well, and I didn't know what it was. And I was talking to someone, and she says, David, you, like there's some bit of a hope in you that this Christmas is going to be good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to fit, the way you see the image of people, and they're dressed up in the Christmas clothes and all, and it all looks happy.
Yeah.
And you think maybe this year you're going to get it, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of that, like it's
like
you said, the subconscious stuff.
Subconscious, yeah.
So, but that's that's what I'm passionate about, though, Billy, is talking about this stuff, and that's the way, that's the way for me. You were saying this is kind of like a therapy for you.
100%, man.
So that's exactly what talking about this stuff does. It starts you off on a journey of it. You know what I mean? You start looking at what's really going on for you, and talk about that, and then you can find a way through it. Do you know what I mean? You don't need the government or counsellors or paying top dollar to try and get through it. You just need to kind of talk to each other. But I'm passionate to get it out there, because like people are dropping like fucking flies in this country, Billy. Do you know what I mean? And they are.
Yeah.
They're dying left, right, and centre.
Look, every day you see bleeding is searched, out for somebody, and then it's called off. They found it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's happening like it's like it's hit us all here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking and it's like this. You know what I mean? Because blokes don't want to talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line, because there's a stigma attached to it. So if you go and say to somebody, you think when you walk, now this is not happening. It's only in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you go and say to somebody, hey, listen, man, I'm struggling, man. I can't play it. I can't deal with this shit or whatever. And then you think when you go away, he's gone ringing his mate. Oh, you want to see Billy's at me now crying to cunt and all, you know what I mean? But, that's what you think.
What's in the head, but that's
but it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
He's
the
probably
case.
sitting there thinking, Jesus Christ, I didn't think Billy was that bad. Or,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he could be saying, Jesus, like he's normal as well, because I feel that as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we all go through it.
Oh, no, 100%, yeah. You think you're unique, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just going through it.
But,
like you say, everybody's going through it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think the way the world is designed is, you go and get this, you become this, become that, and you've made it.
Yeah.
And then you think, once I get that, I'm gonna feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's why I brought this painting in here. Do you know what I mean? That I done. Look, there's artists out there who are, supersede this.
Yeah.
But it's at a level of quality.
Yeah, that's fucking unreal, man.
But the reason why I brought that in is because, somewhere in me, I was like, if I become this fucking great artist, it'll fix me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when I actually got to the end of the painting, it's just paint on a canvas.
Yeah, right, yeah.
The real stuff is
still
within you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so how would you process that how would you get through that? Because nothing else, like, honestly, if you're feeling good, if you're feeling okay in yourself, you can be sweet in the road.
Yeah.
But once you feel okay, that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then that's fucking great.
Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because money can't do it.
No,
it's nice to have a few quid, don't get me wrong.
Oh, no, 100%. But you know, when people say, like, no, money doesn't make you happy.
Yeah.
You know, but it helps, though. You know what I mean?
Now, part of you goes,
you know what I mean?
You're only saying that because you have a load of money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But like, try it yourself.
But when you look around, you know what I mean? You're saying just a minute ago about Ricky Hatton.
Yeah.
Look at what he had. He had everything, you know what I mean? So it didn't make him happy.
That's why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that kind of proves the point of that. You know what I mean? Now, it is nice to be comfortable. It's nice to have but don't expect it to make you happy inside. No. Do you know what I mean?
But
it doesn't do that.
No. But like, everyone wants to be, you know, I suppose it'd make you a little bit happier, wouldn't it?
Does.
You know what I mean? Because
it definitely does.
If you had all your bills paid and you lived in a gaff and you didn't have to worry about anything, you know, you'd be happy enough with that.
That's living the dream.
Yeah, that's living the dream, yeah. That's what I'm hoping this podcast is going to do for me.
Yeah. No,
the new job, Billy Rogan. Billy Big Balls Rogan.
Billy Rogan. Yeah.
So what's the story with the painting? Where did that come from?
This painting itself or the actual...
The thought process of doing it and...
Well, what it was, I was inspired, like that was from McGregor's when he won the first interim title. He won. He was supposed to fight Jose Aldo and Aldo pulled out. And that was Chad Mendes, that fight. But, you know, McGregor was a big inspiration to me because he comes from the same area. Do you know what I mean? And I like that fight that's in him. Do you know what I mean? He was just himself when he's out talking, you know, he's talking to the press. It doesn't matter who he's talking to, it's him. You know, but he said, you know, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it. And he went and he done it.
Yeah.
You know, now there's a lot of talk about him now, of course, and there's a lot of, you know, the tables have turned on him in a certain way. But I was only saying to Derek there earlier on, you know, you hand 150 million to me at 28, or you at 28, what's going to happen? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like in fairness, you know. But
he's doing it. He's doing it like the yachts and fuck, you know.
He's gone all out. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like Tony Montana, isn't it? With the ball of
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The same happened with Tyson. You know, with the women coming after him, accusations and all, you know.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
So with money brings,
you know, man, it brings jealousy. That's as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, if I had the 150 million, I would disappear and nobody would ever see me again. I wouldn't give a fuck how big of a sports star I was or whatever.
Would you keep the podcast going though? That's the main thing.
No, 100%. I'd be doing a podcast from the south of France. Yeah, on the back of a yacht, you know, out in the middle of nowhere. I could tell all my secrets then.
That's it. Yeah.
There'd be no guy coming out there looking for me, you know what I mean?
Because you have what's called fuck you money.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Pay a solicitor, show him up. Shut them up. You know what I mean? So money would make you happy, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I have to fucking, It
would for a few months.
You were saying that there's not many that would supersede that, but I thought that was photograph.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, cheers, man.
Yeah, when Derek showed us that last week, I said, wow, that's something, the painting, I said, he must have been close to get that. He goes, no, that, he's got, I said it was a photograph, sorry, and he goes, no, that's a painting.
Even the background, Mendes.
Yeah.
Mendes.
Yeah.
It looks real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the expression on McGregor's face is the exact same. Like, I remember that night.
Yeah.
Saying
it was a
watching
cracking
it, you know?
night.
Yeah.
Sinead O'Connor up singing the Foggy Jill and that. But the idea behind that was, it was like, as I said, I was inspired by him.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that in art. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna try and become as good as that as I can.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just in this little studio flat I was living in at the time, and I used to get up at 6 a.m. painting that.
How long did it take you to paint it?
It took a lot of hours. Derek asked me that earlier on. I can't remember how long, but it took a long time, you know. Like, it's one stroke by one stroke, you know.
Yeah.
So it does take a bit of time. But the idea behind that was I was going to get 12 of them. I was going to do a UFC exhibition called The Art of War.
Right. Which
is named after the book by Sun Tzu, but The Art of War. And to have an exhibition in Vegas around the time of fight week, but getting them all up to that kind of standard of quality, you know. But I didn't really have any contacts to make that happen around. Right. But like, that was the idea behind it, you know.
Yeah.
But but he was an inspiration, and he inspired me to try and become as good as I could. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to do. Like, that's a great thing to do. But you know, but if there's stuff going on for you, it's like, you know, kind of getting back to that, all that mental health stuff and all is that, you know, you need to address that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do that. You know, there's a girl I work with, Nancy Hay. You know, she's my sister, and she's incredible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we have a great way of understanding each other and helping each other. So it is great, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's great to have that, you know.
To have that outlet,
Just you know, it is, it's definitely helpful, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that's where that came from. Now he was an inspiration, he really was, like, you know. So I done a few with him. I done a few with him with Conor, that was one. And
even the muscles and all, you know what I mean?
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's the whole saying is the
Right,
exact
that moment.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can remember that moment.
Yeah.
Nearly, you know.
Yeah.
It's a real kind of visceral kind of pain.
Yeah.
As I said, it doesn't even look like a pain.
Yeah.
So
it was a great night, that, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Because the wrestlers was always the thing against McGregor.
They always thought that we'd get him with a wrestler.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what they thought. They'd get him with a wrestler. And he had him down for a long period of
That's what
time.
you see, he's cutting all. The cutting all is the exact same and all.
Yeah. Well, he caught him with the elbow, didn't he,
That's
Mendes?
Right.
He caught him a few times, Mendes, but McGregor was well able to take it. He's well able to take an L smack.
Yeah, that's when he went up in the estimation then, after that.
He did.
That was the interim, was it?
That was the interim, yeah.
So this is your book, yeah?
Yeah, this is the book here, yeah. Robin, we were just talking about him. We interviewed him,
Right.
Billy. And Robin was a chef in Harry's on the Green. And he worked in the Aviva Stadium as well as a head chef.
Right.
And I interviewed him, and a couple of months later, you know, he took his own life, you know, killed himself. So I spoke to his brother, and I said, look, if you want to pull him out of this book, no problem. I said, but I'd love to be able to use that to say, look, you know, even though he was trying, it's a struggle.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Time, yeah.
I tell you what, it takes a lot of fucking balls to actually do it.
You know what? You know, you used to think like years ago, the cowards and this, that, you know. But now we understand it more. You know, it's a brave thing to do.
It's a huge fucking thing to do.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's like. But the thing about, like, I was watching a podcast the other day, and there's a guy talking on it, and he goes, "Listen, man, you know, it's what you leave behind."
That's it.
You know, if you could see what you leave behind,
you wouldn't do it. Yeah.
You know, and I know, like, you know, it is a brave thing to do. And,
yeah.
You know, it's like, but
it does leave devastation.
Oh, if you seen what it leaves behind you,
you
wouldn't. Yeah.
Well, I have a brother coming up. My brother's anniversary is from the 19th of this month of January. So 22.
22.
Yeah.
He took his own life. Did he?
In 2022, he passed.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's close to all of our bones. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And nearly every family has some kind of connection to either addiction or, you know, suicide. Or, So we need fucking, you know, we need positivity.
100%.
Yeah, we need to keep talking about it, you know what I mean? We need to
this is the whole point of this podcast, is to let people know. Like, you know, I'm not a fucking, like, people do be slagging me, you know, saying, oh, you think you're a bleeding saint on your bleeding podcast. It's nothing to do. I'm not far from a saint, you know what I mean? I'm just me.
Here we are.
And I'm like, I turned my life around, and I'm just trying to show other people, like, you can do it. Anybody can do it, you know what I mean? But you need to stay positive. There is hope. That's why we have different guests on every week to show you that these blokes had the most fucked up lives, like us.
Yeah.
And look where they are now.
That's it.
And that's the reason why I'm doing a podcast. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not like fame or anything, you know what I mean? I don't need the podcast fame. I'm fucking famous.
Already.
You know what I mean? You don't know me. I'm Billy out versatile. But you know what I mean? Like, so it's not. You don't, like, it's not, I'm not looking for fame here. We just want to let people know, because there's people like I talk to all the time, and they'll be saying, oh, listen, man, your show about your man on the drugs, and about you getting stabbed, and, you know, your story about that and all, and surviving that operation, the 1%, like, that is amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a miracle. Like, you were saying there about when you got stabbed that time, that you were on the road, and you don't know whether it was a cop or a thing. That was probably a guardian angel. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know...
Even if it was a copper or a thing, it's still probably good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He was put there for a reason, you know what I mean? To help, to save you.
Yeah.
And there you are now, you know what I mean? So, and your life was fucked up, and you changed everything around. You know what I mean? And like, you know, we're all in the similar position. Yeah. And that's like you know, people say, oh, you know, someone said to me yesterday, oh, because you're going all holy and all. I said, how? I had John on the thing saying a prayer. Like, he's a Christian. He wants to say a prayer on the show. I'm not going to say to him, here now he couldn't. You know what I mean? Like, and he just wanted to bless the show. Like, I welcome all that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I don't fucking. If you're a Christian, you're a Christian. You're a this. You're a. You know what I mean? I don't. Just because I'm not that, I'm not going to knock what you do.
Yeah.
You're happy.
Yeah.
Look at, you know what I mean? Look at your life now compared to what it was. And that's all the show is about. To let people know that, listen, you can be fucked up in this and you know, and at the end of the day, you can come out of it.
Yeah.
And you know, and like, there's people sitting there, you know, thinking to themselves, man, nobody's going to understand anything. Like, I'm fucking this.
I'm gone.
I'm gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're not. Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Ring me. You know what I mean? Like, if you know me and you see me, you listen, talk to me, I talk to you, no problem, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing that bad, unless you murdered somebody, that's different, you know what I mean?
Back, yeah.
But there's nothing that bad that can't be talked about, and so you can get better, you can change it, something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and we all have these thoughts, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to end it at some stage in your life, you know what I mean? We were talking at the beginning of, like, when we were starting the show, there's some days you woke up and you're like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this shit. I want to go.
Yeah.
And now, in this stage of my life, I love life.
You'd be disappointed you woke up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, wouldn't you?
You know, not again.
Oh, here we go again, you know what I mean? And not only that, on top of that, then you have a fucking addiction. You have to go out and feed, you know what I mean? Like, so there's loads of, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm just trying to play. Yeah. That's the message we're trying to get out there. Yeah. If you think I'm a do-gooder, that's on you know what I mean? But I'm far from a do-gooder. Fuck with me and you'll see.
That's it, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, Billy. That's it.
That's it, like, you know, there's no, you know, so, yeah. Getting back to your book.
100, listen, I interviewed over 35 people in it. You know, there's a woman in there and she has 2 sons. And both of them took their own lives, you know. One of them was, he won a scholarship to a big college, you know, huge fucking college. Yeah. Highly intelligent, you know. But the previous brother had taken his life and then this chap took his life. You know, then you've Jackie Fox in there who, you know, her daughter was bullied. She was bullied badly. You know, they set up WhatsApp groups. They were slagging her, doing everything to her. Beautiful, beautiful girl. And you know, Jackie went up to the shop one day and came back, and she took her own life. You know what I mean? And I get to meet these people, Billy. And like you said about the devastation that lives behind it, does. But she went out and fought for to bring in a law to stop that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you start bullying someone on the phone now, you can go to the police, because they went to the police previously. I said, here's what they're saying. They says, look, our hands are tied. We can't do anything. Now they can do something. Do you know what I mean? So every story in that, they're about 2 pages long. But there's hope at the end of them. Every one of them people are saying, just reach out, just do this, just do that. There's lads who are still actively involved in criminality who interviewed in that book, and they're saying, you know, listen, you know, I'm going to end up in prison, or else I'm coming out in a body bag. Yeah. They know that that's the end of it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They're saying, I don't want that. And that's why they're talking in this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're all trying, it's like you said, we're all going through it. Like, yeah, everyone's struggling with something, you know what I mean? Like I was talking to Kenny Egan's in that book. He won I think he won the gold medal at the Olympics. Kenny Egan, Kenny Egan, the boxer, yeah. And he says, when I got down on my knees after winning that, he says, you know what I said? I goes, what? He says, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Yeah. Because, you know what I mean, I'd reached that pinnacle, but where the fuck do I go now? From this? And when he was getting sent off from the pub up in Clondalkin, when he came back, you know, 2 weeks later after that, he was trying to hold himself up against the wall, puking his ring, because he just went mad on the drink. Absolutely. People giving you gaggle free all the time. Gaggle free and all, but he didn't know what to do with himself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He was kind of fucked up. Yeah. You know, he was fucked up, and he had to walk through it, and he became a counsellor then. And one thing he's finding a lot of is sexual abuse as well. A lot of people are coming in and who are, you know, going through sexual abuse, and that's a huge one. Like, do you know what I mean? Within families, you know, it's happening. There's a couple of people in that book who've gone through that as well. So that's a huge one as well, you know. So It is. It's about, all I'm trying to do is what you're basically doing, Billy, is just trying to put a message out there. That's all. Do you know what I mean?
There is hope.
Yeah, there is hope. You know, we can find a way through it, and you can do whatever you want in life, but you need to get yourself right. Do you know what I mean? And then you can, from there, you can build bit by bit and do whatever you want. Do you know what I mean? You can have a good life.
Yeah, 100%.
You can have a good life, you know.
You just have to fucking...
You just have to start.
Talk about it, you know, get it out there. Listen, you know, like your mates, you know, like, you know yourself, blokes don't want to talk, you know what I mean? Like, it's, like this is great, you know, great therapy session, you know what I mean? All up here having a chat. Yeah. You know, when you think about, like, about the podcast, like, you know, if it wasn't for the podcast, we wouldn't be here talking. That's it. No one's going to hear your voice, no one's going to see your pic. Well, they probably are, probably seeing it somewhere else, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like but that's the thing. Like you know,
it's getting it out there.
Yeah, it's you know, you talk to people and you know, listen to their story. People get something from that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? People get something from it. It might be something small. Like I'm going back. The school I got expelled out of and got thrown out of and got put in a home and all. I'm going back to that school because I got in contact with them and I says, look, I'd love to go in and talk to the students in there. Yeah. And tell them, you know what I mean? I says I want to go in and tell them the truth of what happened in my life. Because that's what reaches people, is that honesty.
Oh, no, real,
Yeah, it's fucking real, like, do you know what I mean? I'll give it to them between the eyes, like, you know what I mean? Because I know what I was like then. Yeah. And so if I can reach even one of them and they decide to stay on, it's hard to do that when you've got chaos going on in the background, do you know what I mean, when you're young. But if you could convince someone to stay on, it could change someone's life. You might do, even one. That's enough for me, do you know what I mean? One person to get something and say, do you know what, actually I fucking will. I'm going to ring someone now. I'm going to bleed and deal with this fucking thing that's going on in my head. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to do something. You know, we just make a bit of a start. And that's where it starts from. It's like anything, Billy. It's like fucking, you know, name it, painting, you with the films. Mm-hmm. You know, you started somewhere. Absolutely. You had to learn that camera. You don't know, the same with you, Billy, you know, and doing the podcast. I'm sure the stuff that...
Oh, no, listen. Know, yeah, look, when we did a force, remember?
Maybe you're the natural though, Billy. It's probably fucking the
no. Like the force when we did, right? Like you know.
He's good though, isn't he?
You know when you say
he's fucking great.
You know what I mean? I must have said, you know what I mean, about 1,000,000 times. Like we had your man Alex on, and he was saying.
Now the force one, though, the force one.
The force
one.
You. Yeah.
And you were we were doing a little, you know, to say that the podcast was coming on online.
Oh yeah.
That was
we had about 20 takes, didn't we?
And the rest,
I couldn't get it right. Yeah. On YouTube and then it just go again. You know what I mean? Like it's just like.
But it's like anything, you know.
It's
it's put in the hours.
It's natural now, you know. Not natural, but
it's more natural. You know what I mean?
Like even when we were off for the Christmas and all, like I was like I missed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like I fucking miss talking shit in front of the camera.
Yeah. But it's the same. It's the same thing. Like, see that what we're saying there. It's like anything. You start off somewhere. Do you know what I mean? You start.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere.
You know, with the mental health and all that stuff, you start off. You start talking to someone. You know, writing stuff down is good as well. You know, so you just start from there, and then like these lads here, you become more natural. Do you know what I mean? You get better. You get better.
Yeah.
Look, your painting started with a stroke.
Started with one stroke. Do you know what I mean? One stroke that started with. You know what I mean? But it's you know.
It's unbelievable, that is.
You know, so that's it, man. You know, that
encapsulates mental health. Start slow. Just start.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's the fight. That's the fucking fight there. Do you know what I mean? Everybody said. It's the wrestler's going to get him. Yeah. But he fucking done it. And you put that into your own life.
Absolutely.
Don't let it fucking beat you. Don't let it beat you. Do you know what I mean? You got to get that fight that's in you out there, you know.
But it's all about positive thinking, isn't he?
That's
you know what I mean?
He's a great
proponent. He believes in himself.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a great metaphor.
Yeah.
That for what you're working with, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, wrestling with
wrestling,
or whatever it is, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, and coming out on top and being the champ, you know.
That's what that pain
set apart.
Yeah.
But that's what the pain tells
you. You need to give him a fucking round of applause for that. Like, that was a good one.
Sum that up there, Frankie. I knew there was a reason we were keeping you around. There you go.
You're spot on.
But that's what the painting says.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. 100%. That's what it's about, you know. That's the main message I want to get across here, you know. I'm just passionate about it because I see so many lives and ruined. Yeah. Every 90 minutes in England, someone dies from suicide. Every single 90 minutes. That's fucking insane.
That's insane, man.
Do you know what I mean? So look, you know, it's just, that's all it's about by me, Billy. Do you know what I mean? It really is, you know. So, yeah, no, that about sums it up, you know. But again, even like, you know, I went back to college then after all that. Do you know what I mean? And I studied graphic design in there, and I got, you know, but I had a couple of breakdowns in there. You know, it's bollocks. It's fucking bollocks.
Mentally taxing, isn't
it? Fucking hell. Yeah. It wasn't just the college; it was all the previous stuff. Like you were saying about the
trauma coming back.
It was all that coming back and just hit me like a smack in the fucking face. Do you know what I mean? But you got through it, and you know I done it. But it's that's why I'm so passionate about it. It's like, you know, sometimes things happen to you for a reason. So I just want to use whatever little talents I might have to put it out there. You know what I mean? For people to say no, fuck. You know what I mean? It's time to fucking, you know, it's time to stand up for yourself and, you know, put that bit of a fight back in. You have a life there.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Look, believe in yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and the thing about like, don't be listening to other people. Don't be listening to what people say about you or think about you or comment about you. Or don't care about it. Have a bit of self-pride, self-control, you know what I mean? Believe in yourself. Because no matter what you do, someone's going to say, look at him, he's a prick. Yeah. Look at him, see him doing this. See him going around doing charity work, he's a cunt. Yeah. See him going around blading robbing people, he's a cunt. See him do. No matter what you do, you're a cunt.
That should be fuel though for you to soldier on.
Yeah, no, for me it is. Because I know, like, you know, I walk by people and I know they hate me, you know what I mean? And I just smile at them because I don't give a bollocks, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, deep down, I used to be conscious about people and I wonder if they like me or dislike. Now I don't care. I literally don't care. People do send mad comments on their thing and all.
Yeah.
I don't care. There was only talking to a fella in the gym earlier on about this, you know, and he was saying the same thing, and he's saying about for where we're from and all. He says, down there, Billy, they don't want you to have anything more than they do. They don't mind you having what they have, but you want, like, we're just doing a podcast just...
Because you want it.
Because you want to, you know what I mean? Trying to better yourself or do whatever, but they don't like that, you know what I mean? They want to, you know, I've seen a thing that says, when they start seeing you doing good, they bring up something that you did in 1992 or something, you know? But that's what it is, you know, when you see people like I say about the comments and all, you know, some comments, you know, most of the comments, I have to say, are positive, but you get one or two, you know what I mean? Or they might send a private message. Now, I don't run the social media thing, but you can go on and have a look, you know what I mean? They might send one or two messages and you're thinking, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously, you know what I mean? Like, just, we're going on about mental health.
Yeah.
And trying to keep your head together and this, that, you know. Yeah. And then you have pricks like this sending you messages, you know. Like, man, do yourself a favour, man. Have a look in the mirror and see. Is your life so perfect? Now I can throw slate at Billy, you know what I mean? Everybody has a fucked up life and have loads of problems, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't be projecting your stuff onto me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Big balls that fucking sit in front of the camera.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You know, and then, like, you have blokes that be texting me and saying, listen, I'll come on to your show and talk about this, but I want to wear a belly. Right. Why? You know what I mean? You want to talk, I can come on to the show and put a belly on and start talking about actually, we had a bloke on with a belly.
Came on with a belly?
Came on with a belly, but he had a great reason for having a belly. But loads of people do be messaging me saying, oh, look, come on to your show and wear a belly and I'll tell everybody about this and about that. It's not that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like it. I don't want to be going down the route of, no, don't get me wrong, we probably will have, you know, mad criminals or whatever that change their life around, but I don't want to be going down the road of bringing blokes on and talking about killing people or doing this or doing that.
And glorifying it.
Yeah, it's not a bit, the show's not that.
Yeah.
It's about hope of giving people like that have to be in a bad situation.
Bit of hope.
A way out, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's all it's about, like, so.
Yeah.
All the hate stuff and all, you know, if you want to send this off, send it, you know. I'm past it now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this, like it doesn't affect me in my day-to-day life, you know what I mean? If someone sends a comment on a thing, it's a different story if I'm driving down the road and someone pulls me in and say, listen, you little prick, this is me that sent a message and, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? But over the internet. I don't care who it is. And most of these people that send these messages, use or something. Yeah. You can't even put our name, you know what I mean? You can't even put that picture, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we have a picture on the oak, you know. Everyone knows who I am, so, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck them.
That's it. Fuck them is right, yeah.
Fuck them is right, you know, if you have, like...
Sure, if you're going to think about them all fucking day, like...
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like this...
What a waste of fucking headspace, what?
That's it. Like, you know, like...
Think about someone else's fucking problem with you.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you think about me, that's your business, it's not mine, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm not going to be, like, you know, sitting at home thinking,
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, better show, better. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like, but yeah, you know, like, but we're on the subject of mental health, and then you have people giving you all these comments, and you know what I mean?
But that's what it is.
Who do you think you are?
Look at Caroline Flack. Do you know what I mean? The English presenter, she was doing Love Island. You know, and whatever happened, she was in a relationship with her, but I don't know all the ins and outs, but supposedly she hit him a few smacks or something like that. And the English press just, well, I don't know, it was the world press, they just dived on her.
Yeah,
She killed herself.
Oh, she killed herself,
She killed herself, you know.
Instagram, all that shit,
you know. They latch onto something and then boom, just take them down, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can see, like, they're like, she killed herself, like, you know what I mean?
Because of the media.
You know, you know.
But, like,
but that's the same thing, it's like comments on the YouTube channel. That was just amplified.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was on the front page of the paper and all. She's, you know, it obviously got to her.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
So obviously got to her. But you're right, though. You know, fuck what anybody thinks.
Yeah, no, here, man, I don't give a... Like, I literally... Like, I know people just say it all the time, but I literally don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I get up every day, go to work, do my own thing, you know what I mean? Like... Why would he be worried about what you think of me or they think of me or, you know, that's why I don't react to these, you know, people. Like, even if I've seen someone on the street and he's saying, you fucking shite bag, you this, I just keep walking or get in the car and drive off or whatever. I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight with anybody. You know, and it's like, you know, I was talking to a fella earlier on, he was saying, like, you know, he has a lot of anger issues, right?
Yeah.
And this bloke's a beast of a plane. He'd do damage to you, you know what I mean? But he doesn't want, he has loads of anger issues and all. He doesn't want to be getting into arguments with people. Like, and even he's saying in his job and...
Snaps on a trigger, like...
Yeah, you know what I mean? And he knows that if he snaps,
he's gonna
do something, you know what I mean? Because the last 2 times he snapped, he's done something bad, you know what I mean?
A bit of damage.
Yeah, you know, but that's what he was saying. Like, even now he says, like, he's trying to bleed and keep it together, you know what I mean? And bleed people, they'll be saying things to him or whatever, but yeah.
No, but that's it. You know, that's the way to deal with that.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Listen, what's the point? You know, there's no point in reacting.
Yeah.
It's not going to do you any benefits. You know, and not only that, right? You see these blatant things, right? One punch, you knock someone on the ground, he hits his head and he's dead. All for you reacting. Just let him go, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and people say, like, you know, it's not easy to let it go, I suppose. You know what I mean? But you have to. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or not you punching him, he could punch you. And you could hit the ground and hit your head, you know what I mean? All because you couldn't walk away, because you know, you're pride or whatever, you know. I don't care. Any people say to me when I walk away, you coward, you this, and you know, I don't care. Care, man.
100%,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, I'd rather be a live, you know, an alive coward. If that's what you want to call it, you know what I mean?
But that's it, yeah. One
punch
can do it. I've seen it many times.
I've seen it loads of times, you know what I mean? And the people that are doing these one punch, they're only ordinary blokes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some bloke banged off them in town, guys are getting smart. I remember the Polish fella a couple of years ago in the city centre, you know what I mean? Same thing, some bloke pushed him and he just gave him a box and your man hit his head off the ground dead. He didn't start it now, you know, but like...
Didn't go looking for it, but that's what happened.
That's what happened, so you better just...
I got knocked out coming up on a knee.
Yeah?
Yeah. Someone else started it, I got some blindsided. And when I woke up, I fucking walking up and down, ran it. Didn't even know where I was. Had concussion, like.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was on the knee. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that done some major damage to me.
Yeah.
Like getting knocked out, coming up on the knee, and then
not knowing.
just coming around with people just dragging out of me, you know what I mean? And like, and I wasn't out of it. I was just confused.
Yeah.
Like it was mad.
Yeah, I know, but it's crazy though, yeah. But that's it, you know, that's what can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, like, you know, like, yeah. So, just walk away.
There you go.
You know what I mean? That's it. Just walk away. You know, no matter what they say or what they do, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I tend not to go out too many, you know. People say, you know, go out New Year's Eve, Halloween. When I think of New Year's Eve and Halloween, I think of getting battered when I was drunk. And that's why I don't want to go out, you know what I mean? Because I know there's people out there, you know, not the same people, obviously, you know what I mean? But there's people out now drinking and just can't handle a drink. You're just playing for snap.
Starting you for nothing, like.
Starting you for nothing, exactly. So that's why I don't attend. If I'm going out for a drink, it's going to a local. Just going in for 1 or 2 drinks and walking home 5 minutes from your gaff or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm not going into town. What's going into town? I'm not going into town looking for my hole or, you know what I mean? I'm not going into town for what, you know? I might go to a gig the odd time, you know, but even at that, you know. Look, I was in the town there last week and I was like, oh, this place is bleeding kip, man.
Yeah.
Fucking dump, man.
Yeah.
You know, it really is, like, it's, you know.
It's gone to the dogs.
It's, you know what, and like, you know, I'm not being racist or nothing.
It's not
you know
like
what
Dublin
I mean?
anymore.
But I never seen so many Indian people in my life.
Yeah.
Like,
but to be honest with you, I was in there one day and I looked at a bus stop and you could have been in 7 different countries.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't
Except
know what
Ireland.
country we're in, except Ireland.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that many. You know, that's another thing is that, you know, this is one of the richest countries, you know, in Europe. Apparently. You know, apparently. You know, but there's more homelessness now than ever there was before.
Like here, we don't really want to get into the immigration thing or anything like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we know what's going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is, Billy, the Irish, we've always been a great people, right? In terms of welcoming people and all that.
Yeah,
but you cannot bring in thousands and thousands of people into a country and, you know, whereas...
And expect everyone to be killed.
That's grand.
Yeah.
It's not fucking grand. And even the foreign people themselves, a lot of them understand that.
Yeah.
And say, well, I get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember a Ukrainian fella said to me, he goes, what do you think of all the immigration coming in here? I said, to be honest with you, Max, I said, I don't like it. You know, and he says, I wouldn't like it either. But it's not really against those people.
Yeah.
What it's against is
the government.
Yeah. That's who really
you know,
is
like,
behind it, you know what I mean?
You know, like, whatever, you can't knock people for coming and trying a better life, you know what I mean?
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Like, you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're coming over here. It's a welfare state, you know what I mean?
But that's it.
Again, they're giving them gaps and giving them money, like it's...
Like it's now tomorrow.
Yeah,
if
but it's turning the blade, turning the Irish against, you know, like, now, you know, everyone's tense.
Yeah.
We can stay here all night time.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
The government are not going to do it. They don't care about you. You know, that's the bottom line. They don't care. So we, you know, they're not going to do it.
No,
look what's happening now. They haven't done that, so, you know.
They're not going to.
This is my motto.
Yeah.
Look after yourself and your friends and your family and fuck everyone else.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because you can't look after everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
And if everybody did that, we'd be a much better place, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Episode 25 in the bag. It's a wrap. Billy loves you. Nice one, bro. Thanks very much for coming on, yeah?
Nice one,
Real
Billy.
pleasure.
Great to have you. Great to speak with you.
Oh, you 100% the same, yeah?
Really appreciate it.
Great show.
Yeah. Excellent show.